record straight. You and me, we ain't nothing alike. Let's set the record straight. Those words you say, they hold no weight, they like. Let's set the record straight. You'll never break the man.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another diecast haul. Not gonna lie, I kind of went broke for this diecast haul. We've only got one diecast here today, but at the same time, it's a pretty good little package here. It's only one thing inside. Again, however, it's worth it. I think it's worth it. So we got another small diecast haul here, but again, nonetheless, I feel like it's gonna be worth kind of taking a look at this real quick. Christmas is going to come a little early with this little gift to myself here because I'm not going to be able to buy anything else for a little bit until I financially recover from Christmas for just, friends and whatnot. So until then, this is probably the final diecast we're going to get through the mail for at least a month or so. I don't know, maybe not that long, maybe a little less, but either way, I'm going to pop this bad boy open if we can ever get the box cut open. There we go. Of course, I got this on eBay because I tried to tried to save a little bit of money in terms of like shipping or just price in general. And we will review this diecast as soon as I can get it out of the box here. Oh, I forgot to send the newer boxes. That sucks. Okay. Anyway, boom. Here it is, a 124. No packing peanuts or anything. I'm not gonna really complain about that. So we're going to scooch this around. You can hardly tell what it is. That's cool. That's good. Probably gonna have to cut something along the side here. Try not to cut it too deep. That way, obviously, we don't get in any trouble. Race winner, you can see right there, it is the good old William Byron Martinsville win from earlier this year. So we're going to take all of this off to the best of our ability. Kind of shred all this as much as we can. There we go. Nice and a pretty little diecast here. I was not a fan of the paint scheme to begin with, but it did kind of grow on me. So I am okay with it now if it'll stop flashing at me. Yeah, here is the William Byron. Of course, is the Martinsville race win. I do have a vlog on that from that race. And I got a cool little story about this car, so I'm going to show it real quick. Boom. I actually have a little bit of the confetti from the race, which I thought was awesome. Had a very fortunate opportunity to go grab some. There was a pretty good little wind after the confetti was shot, and of course it kind of went over into the grandstands, and I think it went right over us, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't have to go too far to grab some. And I also got a couple pieces for one of my buddies on Instagram. He's a huge Byron fan, so obviously I had to pick up some for him, just good old Colton over there. He's been just a fantastic guy, so, I figured to do a little something for him without him asking, Just a little nice thing to do. We're gonna get this out of the box here. I'm actually really happy about the confetti though, because ever since, okay, so the confetti was like one of my favorite parts about a race win diecast, and they stopped doing it, and it was really unfortunate because, again, I loved that they kind of included the confetti with the diecast, and I always hated that. But then it's like, again, as soon as I got the chance to get the confetti, I was like, you know what, definitely going to grab some. There's just some stuff it comes with. Does it come with a winter sticker this time? Yes, it does. Cool. Okay, so we're not going to really take a look at that real quick. I mean, I'll show you the winter card, but I'm not going to read it or anything, just simply because it's not the diecast review. This is just, simply the diecast haul of what we got. There's the front of the card, of course, back of the card, so we'll read all of that goodies whenever we actually get to the diecast review. But here's the diecast. I got a little too bright. So, very clean. I like the paint scheme. Again, it's really cool. It grew on me for a little bit there. I didn't like it in the beginning. I thought it was kind of crap. I don't know. Then just over time, I really started to like it. From what I remember, the race was pretty boring. But, I mean, it's so different when you're there at a race. If you have not been to a race, you're wanting to go one, you're kind of debating on it. If you can, do yourself a favor. Just go to a race. It can honestly be the most boring race ever in history. But just being there makes it worth every little lap, no matter what happens. At least in my opinion, I still got to enjoy Martinsville, even though Bowman was not racing. Of course, talking about the round of 8, but then we did have the Ross Chastain incident. We had a couple other things that happened during the race, but, I mean, other than that, if that stuff didn't happen, I still would have enjoyed myself, because I just like being at races. I don't care who wins, I don't care who doesn't race, I don't care who crashes out, I don't care about any of that. Just being in the presence of a race car, very powerful V8 engine, gas powered, you can smell the rubber, You can hear all the engines fire up. You can just, I don't know, it makes everything worth it. So I did enjoy this race. I think I met Eric Estep at this race. I'm not too sure. But I do remember meeting him. I don't know if it was at the Coke 600. Actually, no, I think I met Affleck Cup Series, or I forgot what it was, ACS Racing Network or something, whatever. Gino Harvey, I met him. I think that was the Coke 600. And it's just the experience of just seeing everything in person. It makes it so much better, whether it's your first time being there or 100th time being there. It never changes. It's always a great feeling, and it's always, you know, just fun to be around. And not to mention, there's so much stuff at a race that you just don't see on TV. You know, you don't get to see the practice. You don't get to see some of the interviews. You don't get to see, you know, anything like that. And you don't get to see qualifying anymore. Well, I mean, you do, but, like, it's nowhere near as fun. Because even though, like, it's so boring to watch qualifying unless you're super interested. But being there doesn't feel like qualifying. It's so difficult to explain about how much, like, the view of a race actually being there versus TV makes such a difference. I don't know, but I'll tell you what, this is a very awesome diecast. I actually forgot I was going to get a Gen 7 diecast that wasn't Bowman, but, you know, there's that. I actually got to get the Christopher Bell win, too, because I was at that race. And we got to get the Brandon Jones Martinsville win. Of course, we got to... Actually, I don't think they're going to make a Ty Gibbs, because I don't think Monster wants their cars made anymore, right? Well, just another custom I got to do, but... Yeah, pretty cool little diecast here. Is that Den 805? How many was made? I'm gonna check that. 876, so a very late production of this car. Again, the confetti is just spread pretty well. The confetti's more heavy on the front end than the back. Pretty sure that had to do with the wind that was kind of getting carried over. But man, I really can't wait. Also, I realized that there is a window on this car, and I thought they didn't run the windows at short tracks. I don't know if they changed it, because there's confetti on the window, so I mean, I guess it was placed there, right? I don't know, maybe they're, because I thought I was looking at Gragson when he ran, when he was going around, like, around the track for, like, practice and stuff. I could have sworn there was not a window, unless they changed it for the playoff race for whatever reason, but I don't really think they would have. Nonetheless, very cool race car, awesome to have. I wouldn't have bought the standard scheme, but definitely having the race win makes it so much better. I wish I was there for the Truck Series race. Unfortunately, I was not, because that would have been a really cool piece to have sitting beside of this car if I were to go all three races. And I've never been to a truck race, fun fact, so I'd like to kind of cross it off my list. I would like to learn the drivers a little bit more, because I'm not really too sure about, you know, who's driving what. I know a couple of ThorSport drivers. I know Deegan just switched teams. I don't really know a lot of people, so... okay, so the time I remember the most is when Christopher Bell was racing in the Truck Series. That was probably the most, I don't know, probably the biggest season I remember in terms of, like, remembering all the drivers. So yeah, that kind of goes to show how much I have not been keeping up with Truck Series. I kept up a little bit this year because of Bowman and Byron and Larson, you know, of course, you know, driving the Hendrick car scheme for the 7. I kind of touched up on that. Same thing with the Xfinity Series, which I've been watching it a little bit more because of Gragson. 3 years ago, I didn't really, oh no, 4 years ago, I didn't really give a crap about Xfinity. And then, I don't know, 3 years ago, I was like kind of getting into it. And then the last 2 years, I've been really watching, because I've been watching Gragson. Of course, that's my top guy in Xfinity. Obviously not anymore, but he was then. So I'm excited to see how he does in the Cup Series for, you know, however many years he's there. But yeah, so there's all that. There's a little bit about my history with NASCAR, I guess you could say. But nonetheless, I do believe that's going to be all for this diecast haul. Again, we've only got one diecast. Kind of hate to ramble on, but I really wanted to talk about the race while we're here and not put it all onto the diecast review, because we're already going to be reviewing the diecast. So there's all that talking versus, or there's all that talking throwing onto the talking about the race, stuff that happened in the race, you know, whatever. So that would have been a pretty long video, and I don't want to waste all my breath on that. So I figured I would do that here. But anyway, once again, that'll be all for this diecast haul. I know it's a very small one today, but hopefully whenever we, you know, get some more diecast in, I do have to purchase a couple more, but when I get the money, I definitely will. Nonetheless, big or small diecast haul, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.